Part two. Sorry, y'all. The battery ran out. Lightning and thunder now. Lightning and thunder. Oh, somebody's walking out there. You better run. My Austin Cup from the Capitol. I'm just looking outside. It is raining and thundering and lightning. And I'm sitting in the window looking at my plans. Anyway, and getting ready to finish talking about my books that I read this year, 2024. Not all inclusive, again, because a lot of the books were from the library, and I'm showing some of the books from my shelves that I got through, right? Yeah, so I read more library books than I do read books from my shelf. I talked about skimming that down as far as starting to give more books away, to slim down my library to over 1,400 books now, to maybe keeping just 1,000. Yeah, we'll see. Because I don't really want to count them. When you think about it, it's like if there's 1,200 that I just am not going to give away and I want to reread, then I'm going to keep 1,200. But for the most part, I'm going to continue to do what I do. Buy books and give books away. That's what I do. And check out books from the library and read loads of them. Anywho, I was talking about Mr. Karl Ove Knausgaard with his fine self. I started watching videos of him, his interviews about my struggle. This is where we left off. And this is the book that I bought from Oklahoma City's Full Circle Books. If you have not been to Oklahoma City, I am telling you, the Oklahoma City downtown is always so clean, always so beautiful. If you watch some of my videos on the other channel as well as this one, I think I talked about that. I know I talked about it, but I'm not sure if I talked about it on this particular channel. So anyway, going to 3 or 4 book clubs, bookstores there. This is by far my favorite, and the one called Uncommon Books downtown as well. I love their couch and the sitting, the way it's set up. It's very aesthetically beautiful. This store right here, Full Circle Books, where I got this book from, all the different rooms of books, the kids area with the ladders and the lightning. The books with the classics. They have a book club that sits in there. Was discussing books the first time me and Tasha went together, because she's been there before. And they have a cafe. We bought the Harry Potter cookies, and they had Harry Potter themed coffees and lattes and this, that, and the third, because they were getting ready for their Harry Potter book festival inside their store, and they were going to be doing games, everything Harry Potter inspired. So the first time that I went with my daughter, that's what we had in the cafe. And then the next time I went with my daughter, we drive in 3 hours, okay? 3 hours to go see my daughter, and then of course go to this bookstore, and the Harry Potter thing was happening. I didn't want to miss it. I didn't want my daughter to miss it. I know she loves Harry Potter. Child, it was so crowded in there. Me and Tasha was like anxious. We sat outside, not outside, but inside the mall and on the stool. If you guys have seen that video, the store was crowded. People were on the floor, and they had this trivia, and you know they were packed in there, and it got even worse and worse and worse. And it was warm inside there. Oh my God, because there were so many bodies. But anyway, I bought this one from there, and I'm thinking I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna get book 2 and book 3 and book 4 and all of the books from there. But I couldn't wait. After I finished this to me is not for everybody. So I'm just telling you guys that I love this book, My Struggle. And it's one complete memoir, which takes up 6 books, right? Did I bring them all in here? No, I did not. I only bought book 1 and book 2 just to show you guys. So this is Mr. Karl Ove, and that's a crazy looking picture on that one. But book 2, baby. Look at his picture on book 2. So, he's so beautiful. Where is it at? There we go. Look at that. Look at that man. He's gorgeous. He's from Norway. Oh my goodness. So, okay. I'm blushing. This man, this book is my vibe. When I say it's not for everybody, when I looked at some of the booktubers, and I don't know if some of these people consider themselves booktubers because they never mention booktube, and I've been on booktube a really long time, but not as long as booktube has been around. Even before people coined booktube, and the little young girl talking about we let y'all in booktube, there was booktubers before it was called booktube, because those are the people I used to watch with the little terrible lighting like myself, but very dark, and just the young people on there talking about books. And I mean young, they could have been 30 or 40, and also some teenagers. But then all of a sudden booktube became a booktube thing. So I went back, I'm going, I know about people discussing books and stuff before it was called booktube. So I say all that to say is some of the book community is not all attached to that whole bookie to be type of community where everybody follows each other and having a good time and doing tags and everything. Some people just love literature and talk about it and never mention any other booktubers. The booktube community that I was a tiny just watching a lot of, other than I would just say the literary people that I was watching that again have not called attention to booktube at all, I still watch, or I find those type of videos, like Benjamin McAvoy with the Hardcore Literature Book Club. I would not say he's part of booktube. He's cream of the crop. He's cream of the crop. I don't care what nobody says. And maybe it's because there's so many different facets and just as many genres of books, there's that many genres of booktubers, right? And we all discuss books in different ways. And I don't consider myself that booktuber. And even when I was tagged a couple of times in the past to do one, they know I can't do tags, right? And I would play around and joke about it. I'm not going to do a tag, right? Because the video will be long. I'm not going to cover all the questions. It was just wrong. I'm not a follow the rules if there are any rules, like I said before, to booktube. So when I say booktube and the that kind of a booktube community, there is a very big booktube community that has very different tree limbs, and branches, and I love that. I love all of it, whether it's wrap-ups every month or Friday reads, what was the other, Nonfiction November, and Adam with hashtag Am Reading. I think he's the one that came up with that, I'm not sure. And of course Read So Lit, and of course Rency Reads, who I watched so much of when I was watching a lot of the booktube community that usually mentions one another or they do the same tags, and I love that for a community, and that's the way it should be. And there's always going to be branch offs where you can find the Benjamin McAvoys and the guy that I don't know his name. I only found them because I was wanting to know more about the rest of the series from someone else that had read it. I just wanted to kind of gloat and figure out if they got what I got from this book, if they're his type of readers. And I found a few guys. I haven't found too many females that came up, or women that came up. Oh my God. So anyway, y'all know what I was going to say, but I'm not even going to address that mess. So My Struggle, Book 1 by Karl Ove Knausgaard sent me down a rabbit hole of him watching his interviews, looking at videos of Norway, looking up how much it's going to cost for me to go to Norway. What's the flight? How much the hotels are? Oh my gosh, reading this book made me want to go to Norway so bad. And then, of course, so anyway, I bought the whole series from Thrift Books. So I got 1 through 6. And I was going to tell you the page count. I think that's what I was going to do before the other video cut off. So let me do that and stop gushing. 441 pages, and there's nothing at the end of this particular section. And this is not from Thrift Books. This is from Oklahoma City. The rest of the series I bought from Thrift Books. Oh, I don't know how many times I'm going to show y'all this. Did he kiss me? Okay. So I've already showed you this, but this is book number 2. So next year, one of my goals is, and it's not going to be exact, it's just a goal, something I'm striving to do, and I've done this before. I've taken pictures of it. When I was in Kansas City, I had 13 tomes. I know there's 12 months in a year, but I wanted to read a tome a year, and maybe, I think I only went through one of those, and that was Some Sing, Some Cry by Intosaki Shange and her sister Ibiza? I'm sorry. Anyway, that was one of the tomes in that picture when I was wanting to read 12 tomes that year. So anyway, this is 592 pages. So reading this next year is going to qualify me finishing a tome for 2025. Tome 25, right? I should read 25. I wish. Oh, that would be nice. Hashtag Tome 25. Now, in the spirit of Karl Ove Knausgaard, after reading My Struggle 1, the next thing I did is I went to the library looking for his books, and I found both of these books. Not these are mine, I own these. But they had 2 of his books on the shelves. I'm like, what? They didn't have any of the My Struggle books. I'm like, they're all checked out. So I got the Morning Star, and I started reading my library copy. I was well into 200 something pages or whatever that I had left, because I think I was almost done with it, and I ended up buying it and finishing up. So I love this book. I love this book. I love his writing, and he writes tomes. He writes tomes, and that's another thing. I needed to sit with an author, and I was telling DJ, I just want to find like another Alice Walker and Toni Morrison, Jamaica Kincaid, Percival Everett, J.M. Coetzee, Richard Wright, Langston Hughes, because I got a tome of Langston Hughes, Wonder as I Wonder, which I've already read and I've also listened to, so I've read that twice. And so I kind of want to sit with a book for a really long time, or if the author writes short books like J.M. Coetzee, like Amos Oz, which Kamal, recommended, and I have several of his books. So I kind of wanted to sit with an author, and so I started buying up Ben O'Cree because I have The Famished Road and haven't read it, and that's one of the tomes I wanted to read when I started that a tome a month in Kansas City, right? I still haven't read it, but what I did was I started purchasing, and I got some in Denton, Texas at Recycled Books, and those books were brand new. Even though it's a used and new bookstore, I got them brand new in that store. They're beautiful too, and I think I've showed you guys those books, and I'm not going to run back in my room and start getting more books, although I kind of want to. I just want to spend the day talking about books since it's raining. What else is there to do but read and talk about books and cook good food? Anyway, so this is Karl Knausgaard. I'm just looking at the page count for this particular book. This is the book that has 666 pages. Anyway, I freaking loved it. I kind of think he did that on purpose, especially after reading the book. And then I also checked out that I didn't read this one from the library. I immediately just took it back once I got all of the books that I read, from the library. Some were unread, and I turned it in because I knew I was going to buy it. And I got this one from Amazon.com instead of Thrift Books because I think it was cheaper on Amazon. The Wolves of Eternity. He's got the third one because he said he loves writing series. So I got autumn, spring, winter, winter, spring, summer, and autumn. I got all 4 of those. They're in there. And you've probably seen those when I hauled them. But yeah, so anyway, since I know I'm going to be reading Mr. Karl Knausgaard's finishing up My Struggle next year, this is my goal, is to read all 6 of his books next year, which all of them are tomes over 450 pages, I believe. And this was definitely over, which I read this year.